Hello. Welcome everyone to our Free Your Mind, Free Your Voice chat. Today we're going to talk about more of a mindset topic. So no singing today. If you are new to my channel or new to my lives, I'm Dion Napier of Amplify Vocal Studio, and I am a vocal coach and also a mentor to professional level singers and classically trained singers. And so what my mission is to help singers break through self-limiting beliefs and build a versatile voice that can sing anything. So if you've been following my channel, especially following these lives or catching the replays, I've been doing a lot of training on the voice. Well, today I want to do a little brief talk on the mind and take some of your questions. So how I got into a passion for mindset training. So I served in ministry leadership for a long time, and I did a lot of discipleship and a lot of intentional personal development, primarily through deliverance ministry. I've talked about this on a previous live, so you can catch this, go back and find it in my other videos. But long story short, the Lord told me that He wanted me to combine my discipleship training, my mindset and deliverance training background with vocal coaching, because the singers and creative artists need accountability for developing their person, not just developing as performers, but personal development, right? So when I say personal development, I'm talking about intentional time spent on personal growth. I'm talking about intentional time examining your thought patterns, examining your habits, examining your emotions, how you respond to things, right? Examining your thoughts, how you think about yourself when you're not performing, those types of things to develop the person and not just the performer. Okay, so my passion is centered around this. I love doing this kind of work. I'm thankful to be able to serve singers in this type of capacity through my mentorship program, which I'll mention at the end. But today, I just want to talk to you about you, the person, outside of you, the performer, and give you a few key ways that you can really discover your purpose. Okay, so let's just hop in. So I'm looking down, I've got some notes here. So the first thing that we have to know, these are just some thoughts. The first thing that we have to know is that our mind is a muscle. So it has to be intentionally trained and disciplined. So just like we train our vocal cords, just like we train our voice to do all kind of things, we have to intentionally train our mind, right? To think positively, to think on a level of abundance and not scarcity, right? To think empowering thoughts and not negative, destructive, disempowering thoughts. This does not just happen by default, okay? This is an intentional training that you have to do to set your mind for success. And sadly, many of us creatives and performers, especially if we came through a university track, we learned how to train our voice. We learned how to sing, but we didn't learn how to condition our mind for success. We didn't learn how to discipline our mind, right? To learn how to be resilient, to learn how to respond to rejection, and all of these other emotional things that are a part of the vocal training process. Okay, so again, the mind is a muscle, you got to train it. So here's the truth: as you think, you are. Okay, so I want to ask you, what are your thoughts about yourself outside of your musical gifts? What's your inner dialogue like? Okay, outside of you singing and performing and doing what you are so skilled and trained to do, what do you really think about you? When nobody else is in the room, what are your thoughts about yourself? I want you to think about that. And you can make this a journaling exercise. Just write it out and look and see and be totally honest. What do you think about you? So some examples, right? So, well, first of all, oftentimes, this is another thought I had. Oftentimes, our identity is so intermingled with our gifts, what we do, that we have no idea who we are outside of the gift. So, case in point, let's take a Michael Jackson. And this is many of the great entertainers that we know and love, right? So take Michael Jackson, honey. People were like falling out fainting when Mike hits the room, hits the stage, right? I mean, one of the greatest entertainers, loved by almost everybody. But Mike was not fulfilled inwardly, right? A lot of antidepressants, a lot of medications and stuff that he took. So that tells us, even though the world loves him, he didn't have that same esteem for himself inwardly. Another performer, Amy Winehouse, right? Love Amy Winehouse. Amy Winehouse drank herself to death, right? So we have to examine those things and say, like, wow, what is the disconnect? These people were fabulous performers, but their inner being, their inner person, their inner man was not at peace. And that is so my heart for you guys, to not just be amazing performers, but to be amazing people on the inside, right? To be able to go to bed and be at peace with who you are, regardless of what others think about you, right? Regardless of anything else, but for you to really have peace and fulfillment and satisfaction with who you are unapologetically, okay? And it takes training and discipline to do that and to get there, right? So here's the thing we have to know. Our gifts, which I believe are God-given, our gifts are tools to help us accomplish purpose, okay? So I'm gonna rewind my music. I like to have this music to kind of keep me time, and it helps me to flow. Right. So your gifts are tools to help you accomplish purpose. So here's what you got to know. You were sent into the planet by God for a divine purpose that no one else can fulfill. It's specific, and you have that assignment to fulfill before you leave this planet, okay? You were not just sent here just on a whim for no reason. You were a part of God's divine design. You are a part of God's idea, and there is a divine purpose and assignment for you to fulfill. And it's your job to do the seeking and the searching to discover what that is, okay? So just because you're a singer or a performer, that does not automatically mean that's what your purpose is, all right? So case in point, my purpose is to help teach people who they are and what they were born for, so that they can experience more fulfillment in life. Now, you may be sitting there thinking like, wait, but you're a vocal coach, right? I am a vocal coach. And coaching is the vehicle that I use to accomplish that purpose, right? Because you guys that want to sing, you want to develop your voice, help me develop mixed voice, my low notes, my high notes, I want to belt, all these things you want. At the core, you really want more confidence as a singer. That's what you want. When you develop that technique, when you develop those extra skills, it gives you more confidence to stand up and deliver, right? And to have assurance. At the core, that's what you want. And so a part of my job as a coach is to deliver that. And as I deliver that, you come more into an awareness of who you are, what you were born for, all of what you are really capable of. Those kind of things happen in the coaching studio, okay? So again, standing up and singing and performing is not my purpose, right? It's a vehicle. Coaching, it's a vehicle. It's a tool that I use to accomplish my purpose. So I want you to think, what is your why? What were you born for? And here are 5 questions to help you discover your purpose. You can write this down and do this as an exercise. And this takes time. This is not something that you just kind of off the head. Okay, no. This takes you sitting down, being quiet, being still, and really thinking about this stuff and writing down the first things that come to your mind. Don't overthink it. I want you to just, if you can, go back like to a childhood place and just think about what were some of those dreams of your heart? What were some of those things that you wanted to do before people started telling you you couldn't, before society started shaping your perspectives and influencing your thoughts? We want to go back to that place and just write this stuff out. So here are 5 questions that you can ask to help you discover your purpose, what you were born for. Question number 1, what makes you feel alive? What makes you feel alive? What is the thing that you could do all day, every day? You could even do it. You could do it for free. I don't recommend that you do it, but you could. You would do it for free, no payment. It makes you feel absolutely alive. You can be dog dead tired, but if this thing comes up, you get a second wind, you get energy from somewhere, and you're able to do it. What is that thing that makes you feel alive? I want you to write that down. Second question, what breaks your heart or what angers you? Okay? What breaks your heart and what angers you? Usually this question points to what you're called to change. But I'm not going to go into all those details, but just write down what angers you or what breaks your heart, what grieves you. Third question, if fear and money were not an issue, what would you be doing on purpose? And sometimes when I ask my clients this and I ask people this when I'm speaking, it's almost like it's not a fear, but it's like a nervousness that kind of comes upon them because most people have never been asked that question. It puts a demand on you to dream and to see beyond your right now. So if fear and money were not an excuse or not an issue, what would you be doing on purpose? I want you to write it down. First thing that comes to your mind. Fourth question, what does your family do? So this speaks to jobs, careers, giftings that run in your family. So for example, I come from a line of teachers. I come from a line of counselors. I come from a line of musicians. I come from a line of people that do service works and hospitality. So think along those lines. What are some of those things that run in your family? Even if you don't know your biological family, if you were adopted, there are still gifts that you can receive through impartation, through being around certain people or being around your adopted family. So I don't want you to feel like you're left out. What are some of those things? These can speak to what you are wired to do. So what I would call this in the ministry world would be generational blessings. What are some of those generational abilities and gifts and talents that run in your family? Okay, that's the fourth question. We're still talking about identifying purpose. And the fifth question is, what have you been named by others? So this means like, has anybody ever come up to you and was like, hey, you look like, you just feel like you could be a great nurse, or you just are really nurturing, like you feel like you could be like a mothering spirit. You know, has anybody ever said anything to you like that? Now, if you come from a prophetic environment where people are used to hearing the voice of God and speaking out what they hear, you can refer back to those prophetic words. What prophetic words have been spoken, or what words have you gotten through prayer? Or again, what if somebody just come up and said like, hey, you look like you could be an athlete, you look like you could be whatever? What are some of those things? The reason you want to capture that is because names give identity and can speak to purpose. Okay, and I'm not going past 15 minutes, so we're almost done. So those are 5 questions that you can take. Welcome to those of you who are live. You can go back and watch the replay because I'm almost done. But those are 5 questions you can take and begin to do that necessary inner work to discover why you exist. What is your purpose outside of your gifts, outside of your ability to sing and perform, right? Who are you at the core? This exercise I just gave you is going to help uncover and unearth some of those answers for you. Okay. All right. So any questions? I just talked about, I named this talk the performer versus the person. So I really wanted to talk to or examine you, the performer, the singer, the creative, versus you, the person. And I emphasize the importance of personal development, intentional inner work, examining the way you think about yourself, examining your thought patterns, examining your habits, right? Just examining your emotional responses. This is all a part of personal development. And when you take the time to do this, it will develop a confidence in you that whatever skill you go to learn, whatever you're trying to learn vocally, whatever you're trying to learn in whatever sector or whatever area, you just have an innate confidence and a mindset that's set for success because you've done the inner work. You know who you are. You have the answers. You have the assurance. And it's like all you do is win, right? No more scarcity mindset, no more fearful mindset. It's like all I do is win or learn, okay? So this exercise is going to help you develop the proper mindset so that you can live your life like with a winning mentality, okay? So I'll stay and answer any questions. If you have any, we're at our 15-minute mark. I don't like to go longer than 15 minutes. But if you have any questions around purpose, identity, you can drop them in the chat. You can watch the replay and drop them, and then I'll come back and answer. But yeah, just wanted to do a little bit of free your mind talk today, okay? So again, if you look at my description, you'll see ways that you can connect with me further and work with me. I do have one-on-one coaching. If you want to work on some vocal things, that's available. You can click the link. I also host an Amplify Your Voice mentorship community. So I do talks like this, mindset conditioning, of course, vocal training, and also business and entrepreneurship training and development. It's a mentorship community. We meet bi-weekly. It's a subscription. You can click the link and see what it's about. And if it looks like something that could serve you, I'd love to have you over there. It just gives me time to just pour into you individually. So what I'm giving you now is just kind of a drive-by. But in the mentorship community, I work with you one-on-one to help you uncover who you are, what you were born for. Of course, the contemporary voice technique, you know, that's a part of what I do, especially for classical singers, helping you expand that skill set. But here's the thing, when you get your mindset condition right, that skill set expands exponentially. Like, it is so fast. It is super fast. So what we really want to work on is conditioning our mind, okay? You want to work on conditioning the mind. The mind is a muscle. Just like you develop your vocal cords and strengthen your vocal cords, you have to strengthen your mind to think rightly about yourself as a person, not just a performer. All right, so if you have questions, drop them in the comments. I'll be back today at 4 p.m. with the same talk. So if you want to catch it live and come back and bring your questions, I'd love to see you. Chat soon. Bye-bye.